Welcome back. This is the final video in the initial program management training series. This is the video on case management. As we've talked about before, the WISEWOMAN screening involves informed consent, health intake questions, doing the clinical screening, and now the case management if it's needed. And there are two types of case management we'll be looking at today: hypertension case management and alert value case management. So let's dive right into it. So the first thing we're going to look at is the hypertension case management, and for that we'll use the case management form. It's the same form we'll use for alert value, but we've set it up so that you can use either one, or you can use it for either one. All right, so what is uncontrolled hypertension? So if a woman has an average blood pressure at screening that is 140 to 180 and or 90 to 110 diastolic, then that's the first condition that has to be met. The second condition is that she answers yes to questions 6 and or 7 of the WISEWOMAN health intake questions. Now these are the questions that relate to: have you ever been told that you have high blood pressure, and are you taking medicine for high blood pressure? Sometimes people will say, no, I've not been told I have high blood pressure, but yes, I am taking medicine for it. So if they answer yes to either one of those questions, and they have stage 1 or stage 2 hypertension at screening, then they're considered to have uncontrolled hypertension. So according to CDC, the key elements to managing hypertension are: 1, being an informed, activated patient working in a productive relationship with a prepared and proactive healthcare team. In other words, you've got a woman who wants to control her blood pressure, and she's working with a provider who was going to work with her to help her do that. The second thing is that she has to have access and adherence to medications or to other treatments as prescribed. In other words, she's got to be able to get her meds, and she's got to take them the way she's supposed to take them. And then finally, lifestyle modification. She needs to be able to make healthy choices, and that goes back to wanting to control her blood pressure. It's all up to the woman. If she doesn't want to do this, then it's just not going to happen. So those are the keys to doing it. So let's take a look at the form. If she does have uncontrolled hypertension, this is the form that you're going to fill out. So you put in all the information at the top, and then for the reason for case management is going to be uncontrolled hypertension. Then we've got two sections here that we're going to be looking at under participant status. One of them is the hypertension case management on the left, and the other one is the medication adherence program on the right. Now you see we've checked complete and participating because this is your ideal situation that you want to have happen. You want her to complete the case management, you want her to attend the medical evaluation, and you'd also like to get her involved in the medication adherence program to make sure that she's taking her medication as she's supposed to. But other possibilities, she may refuse the referral, in which case you'll document that at the lower part of this, or she may be lost to follow-up, and we'll document that as well. And then as far as medication adherence, she can opt out of it, or in some cases there's just no medication prescribed. Then the next thing you're going to complete is the resolution date. That's important that you put that in there. That's going to be the date that she either attended her evaluation, she refused, or you determined that she was lost to follow-up. So let's take a look at some of those situations. First of all, the treatment prescribed. If she attends her medical evaluation, you can find out if they increased meds, if they prescribed meds, if they said she needs to watch her sodium, whatever the case may be, you'll put that in there. So that's the ideal situation where it's complete. You wouldn't have to do any of the other stuff on the bottom. But if that's not the case, let's take a look at what happens if she's lost to follow-up. So we have a place here that you can document that, and this is the procedure to determine whether someone is lost to follow-up. So you call her once at July 10th at 10 a.m., no answer. You call her again July 12th at 1 p.m. You call her again July 13th at 4:30 p.m. So you've tried 3 times to call her and you haven't been able to get in touch with her. At that point, you're going to send her a letter, and then if you don't get a response from her in 2 weeks, you're going to consider her lost to follow-up. And what you would do here, let's go back to the top part of the form, the resolution date in that case would be July 28th. You sent the letter on July 14th. She's not determined to be lost to follow-up for 2 weeks. We've gotten a lot of these forms where the letter is sent on July 14th and then the resolution date is July 14th. That doesn't work. You have to have the resolution date has to be 2 weeks after you sent the letter. Okay, so we can either do the complete where the treatment is prescribed, we can do the loss to follow-up, or if she refuses, we write an explanation for refused. And if she refuses, many times that's going to happen on that day that she's being screened. You're screening her, she says, no, I'm not going to go to the doctor for whatever reason. There are many reasons that somebody might not want to, but you just write that down. She will say she didn't want to go to the doctor because she can't afford it, or she didn't want to go to the doctor because she doesn't like her doctor, or whatever the case is. Just put that down there for us. And then be sure to sign and date the form, and then fax that back to us at this number within 5 days after the resolution date. That's not always possible because sometimes you don't get the information from the provider that quickly, but the key is we want to get that faxed into us as soon as possible so that we can get it into the data system and you can get paid for case management. All right, that was hypertension case management. Let's take a look at the alert value case management. We're going to use the same case management form, but we're going to use it in a little bit different way. So alert value case management is for those women who have really high readings, and it really is an alert situation in that case. So this would be a woman whose average blood pressure was either greater than 180 systolic and or greater than 110 diastolic. And those are some really high readings. So we want to make sure that she is in and seen within 7 days of screening. So you're probably going to need to make the appointment for her, and you're going to have to help her overcome any barriers to make sure she's able to get in. Whether she has a history of high blood pressure or no history of high blood pressure, if her readings are that high, they're dangerous and we need to get her seen and get her taken care of right away. The other one is if she has glucose that's either less than 50 or greater than 275. So if it's less than 50, that's a situation where she may be ready to pass out because her glucose is extremely low at that point. Or if it's greater than 275, then that's an issue as well. So we want to get her seen within 7 days. If it's less than 50, you're going to probably need to do something right there in the office, get her some orange juice or something to help bring her blood sugar up a little. The good news is that this isn't a lot of women. We're talking about less than 3% of the women we screen, and really what we've seen in the last couple of years is less than 1% of the women screened fall into the alert values. So it's not a lot of folks that you're going to have to be doing this on. But when it happens, we want to make sure that they get the treatment that they need, they get evaluated and get started on treatment right away so that they don't have any lasting damage from these really high values. The case management form we're going to be using for these women is the same form as we used with the hypertension case management, except in this case we'll either be using alert blood pressure or alert glucose as opposed to the uncontrolled hypertension. The section in the middle is the one that we're going to be looking at. Instead of the hypertension case management, we'll use the alert value case management. Again, we would like ideally for it to be complete, that she attends the medical evaluation, but you also have the options of refused referral or loss to follow-up, just like you did in the hypertension case management. We will also be using the medication adherence program box, and hopefully she will want to participate if she's having issues with her blood pressure or glucose, but she may also opt out, or in some rare cases, the provider may not prescribe medication. And the resolution date on here is going to be the date that, just like with hypertension case management, it's either the date she attended the medical evaluation, the date that she refused, or the date that you determined her to be lost to follow-up. And the determination of loss to follow-up is the same as you would use in hypertension case management. We use the written explanation for refused with hypertension case management, but we're also going to be using this to write for any alert values that don't meet the 7-day deadline for medical evaluation. And that is important that they are seen within 7 days. So if it doesn't happen, in some cases the woman will cancel the appointment and reschedule it, or you may not be able to get her in within 7 days. But just write down what happened so that we know and we're able to report that to CDC. And then Just like in the hypertension case management, you would sign and date this and then fax this back to us. And this one is even more important that you get it back to us quickly, because the 7-day deadline, we really want to know what's happening with this. All right, so that pretty much wraps up the whole idea of case management. One more thing I wanted to share with you is our WISEWOMAN website. It is available. You've probably seen the website if you're listening to these videos and watching these videos, but just in case you haven't seen it, here is our website. And in summary, what we talked about today, we talked about hypertension case management. We defined uncontrolled hypertension, and we talked about what to do in that case. And we've also talked about alert value case management, and that can be an alert blood pressure or it can be an alert glucose value. Okay, so let's wrap up, and this is going to be wrapping up not just this video but all of the videos. So once you've finished your training notes, fax those to 517-335-9397, and I will be able to get those, or you can email them to me. That information is on the training notes. If you are a navigator or a health coach, you can start watching the motivational interviewing videos. They're available at wisewoman.info. These videos they're good. They're done by our trainer, who is a local therapist who uses motivational interviewing all the time, and he's very good at training people and teaching you how to do it. He really makes it look easy, and so you can get a lot out of these videos. And then finally, we'll be doing an evaluation of these videos. We want to make sure this meets your training needs, and so I will be sending out a link to the evaluation after I receive your training notes. So I would appreciate it if you could complete the evaluation. That really gives us valuable information on what we're doing and making sure that we're being as effective as we possibly can in our training. Well, that wraps up our introductory videos. Thank you for taking the time, and I look forward to meeting you.